Father-child relationships are among the most influential bonds in our lives, shaping not only our childhood, but also our adult identity, emotional patterns, and even social interactions. Yet, for many people, this relationship is fraught with tension, misunderstandings, and unresolved conflicts. Feeling like you don't get along with your dad can generate stress, frustration, and even self-doubt, because society often portrays fathers as pillars of support and guidance. When this expectation clashes with reality, it can leave deep emotional marks that are difficult to navigate. The reasons for conflict with a father figure are diverse. Some stem from differences in personality. Perhaps your dad is authoritarian, demanding, or highly critical, while you value autonomy and emotional openness. Such differences can create a persistent clash, where even well-meaning advice feels like judgment. Other conflicts emerge from generational gaps. Values, priorities, and communication styles shift over time, and what seems natural to one generation may feel alien or restrictive to the other. This gap can make conversations tense and disagreements frequent. Additionally, unresolved past experiences play a crucial role. Childhood incidents, perceived neglect, favoritism, or strict discipline can leave lasting impressions. If these experiences were never discussed or acknowledged, they may continue to influence your interactions, creating patterns of defensiveness, avoidance, or passive aggressiveness. Often, the younger generation internalizes these experiences, struggling to separate present-day interactions from old wounds. Communication is another major factor. Many father-child relationships lack open dialogue, emotional validation, or empathy. When conversations become transactional, limited to instructions, criticism, or corrections, emotional distance grows. Misunderstandings accumulate, and both parties may feel unheard or misunderstood. This cycle reinforces the perception that the relationship is irreparable, even though the underlying desire for connection often remains. It's important to recognize that feeling disconnected from your father is not a personal failure. Relationships are dynamic, and difficult interactions often reflect broader patterns of behavior, personal history, and emotional conditioning. Acknowledging the problem is the first step toward addressing it. Denying or suppressing feelings of frustration or resentment can intensify emotional distress, affecting other areas of life, including romantic relationships, friendships, and self-esteem. Understanding your own triggers and emotional responses is essential. Reflecting on what exactly causes frustration during interactions with your father, whether it's criticism, lack of acknowledgement, or differing priorities, helps in developing strategies for healthier engagement. Journaling thoughts and feelings, or speaking with a neutral third party, can clarify emotions and reduce reactive behavior. Empathy also plays a key role. Trying to understand your father's perspective, upbringing, and motivations does not mean condoning negative behavior, but helps create a broader context for the relationship. Fathers, like all humans, are shaped by their experiences, fears, and limitations. Recognizing this can shift feelings of anger or resentment into curiosity and a willingness to communicate more effectively. Conflict with a father can also be mitigated by establishing boundaries. Emotional, verbal, or even physical. Boundaries create a safe space where both parties can engage without escalating tension. For example, choosing to step away from an argument before it turns hostile, or agreeing on topics to avoid, can maintain a baseline of civility while allowing time for reflection. It is essential to note that not all conflicts can be fully resolved, and that's okay. Sometimes the healthiest approach is acceptance, acknowledging limitations in the relationship while protecting your own emotional well-being. Acceptance does not equal giving up. It is a conscious choice to engage in ways that reduce harm and foster personal growth. In the next part, we will explore practical strategies to improve communication, manage emotions, and potentially rebuild a more meaningful connection with your father. We'll also discuss when seeking professional guidance, such as therapy, can be the most effective way to break long-standing patterns of conflict. Building a healthier father-child relationship begins with small, intentional steps. First, focus on self-awareness. Identify your emotional triggers and patterns of behavior during interactions with your dad. Understanding why you react in certain ways allows you to choose a more constructive response instead of falling into habitual arguments. For example, noticing that criticism triggers defensiveness can prompt you to pause and respond calmly rather than emotionally. Effective communication is the cornerstone of improving strained relationships. Begin with clear, calm, and specific expressions of your feelings. Using I statements, such as, "I feel hurt when," or "I need space to," shifts the focus from blame to personal experience, reducing defensiveness. Active listening is equally important. Fully paying attention, reflecting back what your father says, and asking clarifying questions demonstrates respect and fosters mutual understanding. Another key strategy is setting realistic expectations. Change in long-standing relationships rarely happens overnight. Expecting your father to become emotionally open immediately can lead to disappointment. Instead, celebrate small moments of connection, a conversation without argument, a shared laugh, or a gesture of acknowledgement. Gradual progress, rather than instant transformation, is often more sustainable. Empathy and perspective-taking continue to play a vital role. Consider your father's upbringing, cultural background, and personal struggles. Understanding that his behavior may reflect unresolved issues or societal pressures does not excuse negative actions, but can reduce emotional reactivity and increase patience. This shift in mindset can open doors to more meaningful engagement. For many, boundaries are essential. Decide what behaviors you will tolerate and which ones require space or distance. For example, you might choose to disengage from discussions that consistently escalate or set limits on the topics you discuss. Boundaries protect your emotional health and make interactions more manageable. Sometimes, shared activities can bridge emotional gaps. Participating in neutral, enjoyable activities, sports, hobbies, or even simple walks creates opportunities for connection without the pressure of heavy conversations. Shared experiences foster familiarity, reduce tension, and can gradually strengthen trust. Professional guidance should never be underestimated. Therapy, whether individual or family-focused, provides a safe environment to address deep-seated issues, learn conflict resolution techniques, and break negative cycles. A trained therapist can offer strategies that neither party may have considered, facilitating understanding and healing over time. It is also important to focus on self-care and emotional resilience. Managing stress, practicing mindfulness, and maintaining a support network of friends or mentors strengthens your ability to handle difficult interactions without becoming emotionally depleted. Emotional regulation allows you to respond thoughtfully, rather than react impulsively. Finally, recognize that closure and peace do not always require complete agreement or perfect understanding. Relationships can improve, even if they remain imperfect. The goal is not to eliminate conflict entirely, but to cultivate mutual respect, understanding, and healthier interaction patterns. Take a moment to reflect. How does your relationship with your father impact your daily life? Are there steps, however small, you can take today to communicate better, set boundaries, or foster understanding? Remember, change starts with awareness and intentional action. If you found this video helpful, subscribe for more content on psychology, relationships, and emotional growth. Share in the comments your experiences or strategies for navigating father-child conflicts. Your story might help someone else take their first step toward understanding and healing.